Episode 26, The Hidden Amulet. There are those who believe that the joys in life aren't something to be often shown to others, as not everyone would be truly happy for you. Behind some smiles, there are those who are envious and would go to great lengths to end it. This was a lesson Michael learned firsthand after marrying his high school sweetheart. The couple bought a home shortly after marriage, and at the start, everything was all rosy as they shared photos and videos of their honeymoon and their other travel journeys with their friends and family on their social media platforms. But strangely, after only a few months into the marriage, Kayla started becoming more distant. She started to spend more time away from Michael, always giving the reason that she was caught up with work, and when she wasn't busy at the office, she made plans to meet her friends instead. One day, as Michael was seated on the living room couch while Kayla was nearby packing her stuff, Michael decided to speak up about it and said, "Dear, I noticed that we have been becoming distant lately. Is there something wrong?" "What do you mean? I've just been busy with work and needed some time with my friends," replied Kayla. Unsatisfied with Kayla's answer, Michael then said, "Honestly, I feel that you have been avoiding spending more time together. Actually, if you're really busy with work, spending time with friends shouldn't be your priority. The little time we do have should be spent together." Kayla began getting more annoyed with Michael's response and said, "See, that's the reason why I get really annoyed with you sometimes. You just want to control how I live my life and never let me do what I want." Michael was caught off guard by Kayla's response, as she never behaved that way in the past. Knowing her inside out, Michael knew that his wife was the sort who wants to spend as much time with her loved ones. And before they got married, Kayla was the one who insisted on spending time with Michael despite their busy schedules. So Michael just couldn't comprehend the sudden shift in Kayla's behavior. And although Kayla's response surprised Michael, what Kayla said next baffled him even more. Kayla said, "I don't know if I want this marriage anymore." Shocked, but after keeping his thoughts and feelings to himself for the past few months, Michael finally blurted out, "Are you serious right now? What's wrong with you? Why were you even aggressively wanting to get married if you felt this way? And after everything that we've been through, you're suddenly not sure anymore?" said Michael as he began raising his voice. Kayla ignored Michael and walked into the bedroom. Michael's heart shattered as he recalled about what Kayla said about not wanting the marriage anymore. Kayla fell asleep shortly after as Michael stayed in the living room, thinking about what could be the reason for Kayla suddenly behaving this way. Michael's thoughts ran wild that night as he spoke to himself. Why is she behaving this way? Is there someone else now? That would explain why she suddenly changed. But if that were the case, why now? There were many guys that chased her before we got married, but she rejected all their advances. As Michael continued to stare blankly at the wall, tears began rolling down his cheeks as Michael continued speaking to himself and said, "How could it end like this? I've built this home out of nothing. I can't let it end this way. We were so happy together a few months ago. But why is she suddenly behaving this way? Is it possible that someone sent evil spirits our way?" As Michael was deep in his thoughts about the crisis he was facing, he fell asleep on the couch from mental and emotional exhaustion he had been feeling for months since Kayla started behaving differently. The next day at work, Michael thought about the possibility that someone sent evil spirits to his home, wanting him and Kayla to break up, as no other logical explanations could explain what was happening to his marriage. So, after work that evening, Michael went to his uncle's place to let him know about his situation. Michael's uncle, named Uncle Craig, was someone who had a sixth sense and could see things that the human eye usually couldn't. Right after Michael had explained to Uncle Craig, he very briefly said a prayer, a lot more brief than Michael had expected. Uncle Craig then said, "Okay, this was an easy one to see, Michael. It was one of Kayla's family members." "What do you mean, Uncle Craig? Is there someone using evil to disturb our marriage? If that is the case, why does the person want to tear us apart?" asked Michael, who had endless questions about what was harming them. "Well, this family member actually didn't agree with the marriage. It is a distant family member, and she had hoped that you would break up so that she can matchmake her son with Kayla instead. She got even more upset after seeing how happy you guys look on social media," explained Uncle Craig. "But that is plain evil. I mean, me and Kayla have been together for the longest time, and if she wants to be with me, that family member should respect Kayla's decision. Anyway, if you can tell me who it is, it would be great. I'll show them exactly what I'll do to them," replied Michael, sounding annoyed. "That is exactly why I won't tell you who it is, Michael. If you were to harm them, the situation would just get worse. And from what I can see, once you know who did it, you wouldn't be able to hold yourself back," said Uncle Craig. While starting to get more agitated, Michael then said, "So you're not going to help me, Uncle Craig?" "I am, Michael. I will tell you exactly what you need to do to save your marriage. But I just won't tell you who it is. At least, not now. Someday, you will eventually find out on your own." Hearing what Uncle Craig had said, Michael began to calm down and became attentive to the instructions that Uncle Craig was about to give him. Uncle Craig then said, "Okay, Michael, listen. Remember you did an open house gathering at your place a few months ago where you invited both yours and Kayla's family members?" "Yeah, I remember. What about it?" asked Michael. "Well, the person used that opportunity to place a dark amulet in your home. That amulet is the reason why Kayla is beginning to behave the way she's behaving now, and it would only get worse until the both of you get a divorce," explained Uncle Craig. "Okay, where exactly is that amulet? And if I find it, should I throw it away?" asked Michael. "It's somewhere in your bedroom. Try searching in storage spaces where you and Kayla wouldn't normally open. The person placed it there so neither of you would notice it. Once you have found it, do not throw it away. Bring it back to me. And remember, Kayla can never know about this, as it would only make her hesitant in mending the distance that she has been forcefully creating between you two," explained Uncle Craig. Michael then thought about how he could stealthily rummage through their storage spaces without Kayla noticing. So, coincidentally, when Michael was on the way home, he received a text message from Kayla. Kayla mentioned that she would be home late that night, as she had done so often these past few months. That was when Michael knew it was the perfect opportunity to find the dark amulet. So, once home, Michael immediately began searching in his bedroom. He opened the makeup drawers and found nothing there. He looked in the closet storage containers and other storage spaces around the room, but still couldn't find anything. He then thought about where else he hadn't checked. That was when Michael decided to lift up his mattress, and, to both his shock and relief, he saw a small, shiny, and dark amulet lying on the bed frame. As Michael was staring at the amulet, little did he realize that he had been searching for it for hours, and only noticed when he heard the front door of his home getting unlocked. Kayla had reached home. Not wanting her seeing the amulet, Michael quickly took the dark amulet, kept it in his work bag, and placed the mattress back into its original position. Less than a minute later, Kayla entered the room and ignored Michael as she had been doing for months. Both of them slept that night with the amulet hidden from Kayla without suspicion. The next day after work, Michael went back to Uncle Craig's home and gave the amulet to him. As soon as Uncle Craig held the amulet tightly in his fist, he read some prayers, placed the amulet on top of a piece of paper, and burned the amulet. The amulet was partially burnt, and Uncle Craig sealed it shut in a sacred metallic jar. Days went by, and gradually, Michael's relationship with Kayla improved, and not long after, they returned as the happy couple they once were. As their sweet relationship was restored, months of peace went by before Kayla got the news that her Aunt Kim had suddenly passed away after being sick. Right after Kayla told Michael about Aunt Kim's passing, Michael was surprised to receive a text message from Uncle Craig. The text message read, "Remember I told you that you would eventually find out? Now that she has passed on, I guess it's okay to tell you that it was indeed Kayla's Aunt Kim. She made a pact with evil, and after we burnt the dark amulet, the pact was broken. She no longer had evil's protection, got sick, and eventually succumbed to her illness." Michael could hardly believe it, as he remembered how Aunt Kim was always nice to him whenever they would meet. He remembered how Aunt Kim even brought Michael's favorite cheesecake during his open house gathering, and once even cooked a great meal for the couple. From then on, Michael realized that sometimes we could never really know about others' actual thoughts and feelings. Who knew that Aunt Kim had dark thoughts behind her smiles and kind gestures? Who knew that Aunt Kim hated Kayla's relationship? And who knew that she had been using the shiny, dark amulet?